Welcome to this video in anticipation of Microprose releasing a redux of this game and also a sequel, the Bloody 100th. I thought I would revisit B-17 the Mighty 8th from the year 2000. I'm going to play a Squadron Campaign, so that means we're in charge of 12 planes. We get to plan the missions, execute the missions and maintain the aircraft. I'm going to play it on high difficulty and full realism, starting late in the war, February 1945. So let's check this out. Mission 1, here we go. Into the operations room and let's plan the first mission. Here's Ridgewell. This is our home base just west of Ipswich and Colchester, near the east coast of England. We scroll the map over towards the front line and then into Germany, where we have a bunch of targets, and in particular in Essen here we have a large number of targets. And here's Scholven oil production facility, or a couple of other oil production facilities nearby. I'm going to target Scholven as the primary target, and the AI has plotted the route that it suggests we take, but I'm going to change that a little bit. I'm going to move the decision point upwards north of the target. Then the initial point, again, just going to put it straight north of the target and bring the rally point out to the southwest. I've tidied up the other waypoints to form a clockwise circuit around the primary target. I'm going to select a secondary target here. There's another oil production facility just next door called Bottrop Oil Production Facility, and we'll do a similar north-south run over the target, egressing southwest. I can also set up 3 recon missions for future targets, so we'll do one over this oil production facility. It's just south of Cologne. A second recon mission over the Reichholz oil production facility southeast of Dusseldorf. And lastly, we'll do a recon over the Elberfeld ball bearing plant. Time to choose the aircraft for this mission. Just going to select the first 6 planes in my squadron and making the Berlin Express the lead plane. Let's choose the ordnance. We're targeting oil production facilities, so I want to make sure I've got incendiaries as well as general purpose bombs. So here's the mission summary. It's 10th of February 1945. Scholven is the primary target and Bottrop is the secondary. That's the planning complete. Let's head to the briefing room where we can accept the mission. Got a couple of squadrons of P-51s fighter escort. Scholven is a high priority target, it's very well defended. Secondary target is Bottrop, which is also high priority and it's well defended with just slightly less fighter strength. We can sign this off and we're ready to start the mission.
Taxi to runway.
Time is now 07:32 hours. This is the lead plane from our squadron. This is the Berlin Express. I'm going to taxi to the runway and then take off. The other B-17s are starting to roll behind me. There will be 18 planes in total going up for this mission. Only 6 of them are from my squadron, so the challenge is going to be to bring those 6 planes back home safely. We're at the start of the runway now. We've got clearance to take off, so let's roll. All of the B-17s have now launched and we're in formation. We're heading out across the North Sea on a bearing of 077 degrees towards our first waypoint here northwest of Amsterdam. Time is now 08:50 hours. We've crossed the North Sea and we have Amsterdam off our 1 o'clock.
Navigator, that's the Dutch coast down there.
Once we reach the waypoint here, we'll continue eastwards over Lake IJsselmeer. We've made it over the lake. We're about to reach our second waypoint. From here we'll go southeast towards the decision point and then on into Germany. We've now crossed into the Luftwaffe patrol zone, so we're going to have to watch out for enemy aircraft. I've dropped into the chin turret of the Berlin Express and we've got 109s bearing down on us 12 o'clock. Our escort fighters have just spread out to engage them. One of the enemy fighters has just been hit, but here they come. Got our escort fighters still chasing them, so have to be careful not to hit the friendlies. I think we've largely defended against the first group of fighters, but there's a second formation inbound. These 109s are booming and zooming. It's pretty difficult to land hits on them. Don't think I got any hits on that plane. We have now gone past the decision point, so let's get a weather forecast over target.
Weather at primary target is believed to be stormy, 1,000 feet.
Oh, there's a bug there which hasn't given us the precise cloud cover over the target, but we know it's stormy.
Weather at secondary target is believed to be cloudy with
weather conditions over the secondary target look better. Despite the stormy weather conditions, I'm going to stay on course for the primary target and we'll just reduce the bombing altitude down to 10,000 feet. Still got some 109s attacking us. Really difficult to see anything in that ball turret. And look at that, one of the enemies has just collided with a B-17. And we've actually lost 2 B-17s there. We're almost at the initial point to start the bomb run. We've made it down to just over 12,500 feet. So if it is very cloudy over target, hopefully we can still spot it.
Pilot, navigator, we're at the waypoint.
let's drop into the bombardier's position, and there's a bit of damage there on the front of the aircraft. I'm going to reduce the bomb release time interval down to 400 milliseconds, and I'll do that on all 6 planes in my squadron. We've got flak coming up now. I'm just checking the drift dial. Looks like we have -2 degrees of drift. Plane's getting buffeted a bit in the flak. Let's check what the bombardier's got. He's got 4.6 degrees of drift. I think it's a bit too much. I'm going to drop that down to about 1.6 and I'll fine tune it a little bit more to the right. Try to get somewhere around 2 degrees. Looking through the bomb sight, it is almost blanket cloud cover. Can't see the target at present, but there is a small gap in the cloud, so I'm going to wait for that and try to acquire the target. Looking closely through the gap in the clouds, I can now see the 3 tall chimney stacks at the target location. So I'm going to manually adjust the bomb sight and lock it in before the cloud cover blocks visibility again. We're closing in on the target now. We've got flak going up all around us. Nothing we can do to protect against the flak at this point. Just have to stay focused on the target. The cloud has just thinned a little bit. I'm going to reposition the bomb sight. I can now see the line of storage containers that is roughly in the middle of the site here. If I can hold position there, it should be a good drop. The storage containers have just started to render in. Looks like we've got the drift just about right. We're staying on target. Cloud has thickened a little bit, but we're just about to release the bombs. Here we can see the target. Let's see how we did with the bomb drop. We've absolutely nailed the target. Awesome bomb drop right through the middle of the facility. Looks like we've totally destroyed it. We've destroyed the buildings here, the long row of storage drums in the middle, the larger drums at the back of the site, and even the 3 chimneys here destroyed. Let's get back into the plane. One of our guys is down. Let's fix him up. And I'm going to increase the altitude of the rally point up to 21,000 feet. Try to climb as we exit through the flak field. We can just about see the target burning in the distance underneath my left wing. So we are climbing back up to 21,000 feet. The flak is following us as we climb. We've made it up to 14,500 feet, still climbing. The flak has stopped. Let's have a look at the instruments on the plane and see if we've picked up any damage. Well, engine pressures and RPMs all look fine. as does the oil temperature. Let's check the fuel tanks, and they all look fine as well. Let's have a look at where we are. We're west of Dusseldorf. We're making our way out of the area of flak defences and across the front line into friendly territory. We'll pass north of Aachen on our way to our next waypoint, which is over Liège, and from there we'll head west to RTB. Time is now 10:05 hours. We've almost reached our waypoint over Liège. You can see the city underneath the left wing. I've noticed that one of the planes in my squadron, the Chowhound, has picked up a significant fuel leak. The fuel tank 2 here is almost down to 50 gallons. So I'm going to do a fuel transfer to top it up. Set this lever to fuel tank 2 and this one to fuel tank 4, and flick the switch to go right to left. That should be enough. We'll turn the transfer pumps off and check on the levels. Fuel tank 2 now has about 100 gallons of fuel, so that will hopefully be enough to get us back to base without needing to switch that engine off.
Pilot, navigator, take up a heading of 275. Repeat, 275. Okay.
We're on the home leg of the mission. Time to RTB back to Ridgewell. It's 11:38 hours. We've made it back to base. We're about to join the circuit to prepare for landing. Let's see if we can get all 6 planes from my squadron down safely.
Orbit and wait for landing clearance.
As we go below 8,000 feet, we switch on the air cleaners and drop the intercoolers to stop the engines from overheating. I've just jumped into one of the other B-17s. This is Mother and Country. I've taken manual control because the pilot's having all sorts of trouble trying to bring the plane in towards the runway. So I'm going to try a manual landing here. I think the plane has picked up some damage. It's listing to the left, so I might have to make an emergency landing. Smoke billowing out of engine number 4. I don't really have an opportunity to solve that, but the runway's up ahead, so we'll be down soon enough, one way or another. Sounds like one of the crew's having a bad time there. We're not going to make the runway, but I should hopefully be able to touch down nicely on the grass and avoid a crash. I'm using full right rudder to stabilise the plane as we come down to land. Managed to touch down safely, so I just need to bring the plane to a halt.
Good landing, taxi to hard stand.
One of the crew members definitely needs medical attention. Can see engine number 3 has stopped. We'll just leave the AI to taxi to hard stand. The Berlin Express is coming into land now. Let's bring her in. Final approach is looking good. I think I must have punctured the right side landing gear as I landed there. The plane is leaning over to the right just a touch, but otherwise it's a good landing.
Good landing. Taxi to hard stand.
Next in is the Liberty Bell. She has a lot of damage on her wings and the rudder. But she makes a nice landing. Here comes the Guardian Angel. Has a very aggressive angle of approach to the runway. Let's see if she makes it down. Wow, I was worried there for a moment, but she's touched down safely. One of the crew members is injured, so let's get him patched up. Next in is the Memphis Belle. And now it's the Chow Hound. She's coming in at a ridiculous angle of attack. Let's see if the AI manages to pull this one off. Well, I'm pretty sure the left wing tip grazed the runway as it came in, but otherwise it's down safe and sound. All 6 planes from my squadron have made it back, so I'm pretty happy with that. Time to check out the mission debrief. We attacked the primary target, Scholven oil production facility. It says distance flown 0 miles, that's a bug in the game I guess. Didn't lose any bombers from our squadron. I managed to shoot down 4 enemy fighters and totally destroyed the targets, that's really good. A long list of injuries suffered by various crew members. Some of these guys will be out for a few weeks at least. I have to get some replacement crew. And we can see the bomb damage assessment here. Our bomb drop was absolutely spot on, smashed the target to pieces. The black dots show where our bombs dropped, and the red dots are the assets that we destroyed. And I don't think we could have done a much better bomb drop if we tried. A stack of purple hearts to the injured crew. Let's take a look at the post-mission recon. Target is coming into sight now, and most of it is just a black husk. I think there's just a few storage drums left at the end there. There's going to be a lot of repair work needs to be done to the bombers. We'll just take a look at a couple of them. So the Berlin Express does have a right landing gear puncture, so we'll set that to be repaired urgently, but the other recommended repairs we'll just leave them to be done as routine. And let's check out the Mother and Country. This is the plane that had problems coming into land, and yeah, we can see their engine 4 leaking oil and control linkages severed, so let's get those repaired as a priority. That's mission 1 of the Squadron campaign completed. Many thanks for watching. See you next time.